We're good. All right, we're ready to get started. I'd like to bring this special called meeting for the millage rate tax setting to order for Friday, November 7th, 2025. If you all please stand for our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we do have a quorum with 4 commissioners present, and Commissioner Staten is on the phone here. So we need to approve the agenda, which is just a public hearing. We're not going to take any official action at this noon meeting, but I do need a motion to approve the agenda. From Commissioner Robbins. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Jones. Any further discussion? All in favor, raise your hand and say aye. Any opposed, nay. Passes on a 3-0 vote. I will start us off with, if you were here before, this is virtually the same presentation, let's say 99% the same. There was a couple of clarifications, but it's the same number of slides, the same data on each slide there. But I'll go over that just real briefly for those that weren't in our previous meeting, and then I'll turn the meeting over for public comment. So this is our first one. This is the history of our millage rate. This is for our M&O budget, which is our general fund budget, our main budget that we set. This is not the special tax district, this is the M&O. And you can see going all the way back to the beginning of the century, it was at 6.67. It peaked around 2016 at 9.56. And then been steadily declining. This particular board has cut the millage rate, not just the rollback, but even exceeded the rollback 5 years in a row, 5 times in a row, I should say, which is typically once a year, but this last year was twice. So that's about a 58% reduction in the rate. And you'll notice I put 2 millage rates there because there was a second one we were required to do to finalize it. We had already collected our revenue. There was no additional revenue expected, and I think there even will be a small rebates being sent out related to that second millage rate. That's the 4.35 that you see there that we did. So this is the actual dollars. If you look at the dollars of tax collections, I know the millage rate's only half of the formula, of course. The other half is the value of the home, the value of the property, which is the assessments that we've heard so much about the last 18 months or so. But if you look at the raw dollars, so this is all people, all taxpayers, all businesses, what they pay towards property tax in the M&O budget. It's $24.2 million in 2016, and then 9 years later, we're at just under 20 million, 19.85 or so million. So that's about an 18% reduction in actual dollars received. But our costs, unfortunately, have not stayed the same since then. A few people have asked what's our biggest cost. I did add one little point there about our salaries and benefits. That makes up 68% of our budget. So that's first responders, fire, sheriff, the rec department, the public works, etc. So people and their benefits, you saw the benefits on the previous screen for healthcare, make up the biggest percentage. If you look at just healthcare across all the different departments that we have in the county, that has nearly, actually by this year, 2025, we're not quite through with it this year, it will more than double, but it's about 187% increase through last year, so those are actual payments that we made out. And then we asked the staff to go and look at our surrounding counties. We always want to be competitive with other payments, and I actually also wanted to have the slide to put it into actual dollars. So if you have a $250,000 home valuation of this year, those are the 2025 rates for Bartow, Catoosa, Floyd, Gordon, and Walker. And you can see the actual dollars that you would pay. That includes any exemptions that you get. If they have special tax districts like we do, some don't. Those numbers are also included in that, so that's your whole bill that you owe the county. Now, it doesn't include the school tax, but it includes everything that you would owe that county in any form or fashion. And so for 2024, the rate that you would have paid would be about $591. Of course, if you're a senior and you're up to $250,000, you pay zero tax. So if you're over 70, you pay zero. And the latest, I guess, update for that is that we now have a $325,000 exemption starting in January. So voters approved that, and we put that on the ballot, and we're all happy to hear that. And make sure seniors can stay in their home, not just worry about making the tax payment, they have no tax payment up to $325,000. So the options that we've considered or that we spoke about in our last meeting, and we advertised in the paper, that's the first rate, the 5.25, which again is the kind of the worst case maximum amount that we can have, would add $72 a year to that 591. So that's what you would add to that if we went with that rate, which I think we've pretty much already committed. We're not going to do that or that rate. You drop down to 5. I use that amount because that's what we estimated that we would need before we had the digest. So there was a lot of changes to the digest between July and when we finally got it in October. But that was our best estimate at the time, that we might need up to 5 mills. So that was what was printed on your form that you received back in the summer. And that would generate about $52 more, increase your taxes about $52 or $4 a month. So we have two other options that are under consideration, 4.6, which would basically be similar to inflation for this year and would add $20 a year or about $1.60 a month to that bill of $591, or keeping it completely flat of $435, which would of course add 0 to it. So that is all the items that we have to cover. I'm happy to have each person come up. I would ask, if you've already spoke at a previous meeting, give other folks here the opportunity to speak that didn't get to speak a week ago, last Friday, first. You have up to 5 minutes, but of course, if you can go less and give other people a chance to speak, so people can get back to work if they have to go back to work at 1, for example. If you're streaming it, I always fully support your right to record and streaming. I just ask that you don't do a podcast, don't do commentary, because we don't know if you're talking or the person at the podium is talking. It gets confusing. So if you need to talk to your streamers, then you can just go out to the lobby. I don't believe there's anyone downstairs in the overflow room that we have, but if there are, you can come up here. There are empty seats up here. We haven't hit any kind of fire marshal capacity, so you're welcome to come up here, or just come up here, make your public statement, and then you can go back down there if you're more comfortable. And that's all I have. We're open. Like I said, if you didn't get to speak last time, I encourage those folks to go first here. If you had a change of heart from your last meeting, I guess you can come up and tell me you changed your mind. You want the 5.25, the maximum. We'll hear that. But if you haven't changed your mind, then we definitely heard you loud and clear last week. But new folks that weren't here, I'm happy to hear you guys.
Name and address.
Yep, just give us your name and address, please.
My name's Larry Satcher. I live at 898 Bagby Loop, Tijuana, Georgia. You talk about taxes on the house. Since I'm over 70,
Okay, good.
is 0, but my property ain't. So I've got twofold there. One thing I just got was from Social Security. I got a 2.8 increase. So y'all wanting, if you advertise, and I wondered why you did this at 28%. So it would look good on y'all reducing it, maybe. But my supplement insurance went up approximately $100, and my wife's the same, so that's $200 out of our pocket more. And you talk about the millage rate. You've already raised the taxes basically once this year, but by reappraisal. That brought the property value up. And that means even if you go with the last millage rate, you don't pay more for it. Now you're raising it again with the millage rate. So actually you raised it twice.
If you don't mind me clarifying that, that's not completely accurate. So we're talking about 2024. You are protected because the county opted into this new law that went into effect this year called House Bill 581. And that was on the ballot this last week as well. And so for the schools, so they opted out of it. Now they're forced to go back into 581. We were already in 581. So your property value from 24 to 25, if it went up, you get 100% credit, not from me, but from the tax commissioner based on that law. It will offset that, assuming it's your main property. It has to be your homestead, so if you have commercial property or a separate piece of property, that's a different story. But for your homestead, you'll get a full credit, so your net increase will be 0 from 24 to 25, and if we keep the millage rate the same, and your value's the same, you may have seen a new value on your property, but you'll get a total credit for that from the tax commissioner on your bill because of House Bill 581. But now, for next year, you'll get it for the schools as well as for us, but we stayed in it. So that was a taxpayer advantage, and we stayed in it.
Well, y'all appraised the property, and I've got wetland that's in the Cahulla Creek bottoms, and each year, each time it's reappraised, they go up. It's been up as much as $15,000 an acre. Yet, I can't do anything with it. I don't have the power like y'all did at Frederick's Mill to go down in Cahulla Creek and do work.
That's the federal government, that wasn't us, but go ahead.
They tore the dam out, and that's the.
No, the dam's still there, but they've been working on the banks, you're right, but that's the federal government, that's not us.
Well, anyway, I can't do anything with land, but the property keeps going up. And every time it goes up, the millage rate stays.
Well, we roll it back. We roll back the millage rate, at least the last 5 times in a row.
Well,
I'm not saying the schools did all the time, but that's 70% of your bill. I did put that on the slide, but that's over 70% of your bill. It's the schools. They sometimes roll back, but they don't always.
the problem is I worked all my life to get what I got. And it seems like everybody's working to take it away. And by little with the increase in money. You talk about, what, $70? It ain't much. It is to me.
We'll do less than that.
Because when I'm on a limited income, it hurts. It cuts on other things.
Understand? Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Daniel. I live at 1060 Cub Beaverdale Road. Y'all familiar? Been here a couple times.
Yes.
I had a clarification and maybe some questions. So, for the numbers that were put up, I see 70. The worst case is 72 per year or 6 per month. Is that on the average property?
It's on $250,000, which is the median.
Okay.
For the Woodville County. Yeah.
Okay. Just wanted to check. So,
if you have a $500,000 house, it would be roughly twice that.
correct. So I don't see average anywhere on there.
I did not put that on there, but
Okay.
that is what we consider the median. He's our real estate expert,
Okay.
John, but
Gotcha.
I think
Understand.
that's a statute where we can look that up and see what the median sales price is.
I gotcha. Now, does that include, that's everything, right? So you even, small, did mobile homes count in that, or no, those are taxed, sorry, never mind. I think the vast majority of people with their appraisals probably went, at least people that are in here, probably are close to that number, especially those that's out in the rural areas of the country. Our county, our properties are going up quite a bit, so I think we're gonna see a lot higher than those numbers, even if we go to
A lot of
the.
people appealed, the other thing to mention, if you appealed and you won, you're probably gonna pay less taxes, because your value has dropped over last year.
Agreed.
So that's a good point.
Agreed. So now, as far as the reason for the increases, I saw, I think this has been consistent, as healthcare costs have gone up for everyone and for the county as well. Have services, things like that, have those also gone up as well? Has that been a portion of that increase, the need?
Well, you can imagine, the price of eggs from 2016 to now is just like night and day different. And of course, we have to feed our prisoners at the detention center. So we have food costs, we have power costs, like you said, and of course, the cost to pave a mile of road has gone up quite a bit because of petroleum in those products.
So in some way then, do you think
I just
that?
didn't put those.
Totally understand, yeah. Do you think in some way then this board is partially responsible in the decisions they've made with the development of this county, with the JDA, to push for more building, more growth, which does increase tax revenue, but also increases in services? So do you think in some way that this board, the zoning board, the JDA, in some way bears some of the burden for some of these costs increasing?
I guess that's subjective. A lot of the subdivisions, we haven't had to, typically that's roads to maintain. I mean, there haven't been, hundreds of miles or 50 or 20 miles of road, added, which would be something to maintain.
All the services and utilities, though,
Fire,
to keep it up.
Fire, of course, is part of that, but we built a fire station 5 years ago. There's there's no need or no plans to build another one, which those are quite expensive, and if you have a growth in part of the county where you have no coverage, you're forced to do that, but we have pretty much 90 to 100% coverage on fire, so we haven't had to add anything, at least not in the last 5 years, let's say.
I think if we keep this pace up, we're gonna see a lot more of those services, and so, a small increase now is only gonna roll and get worse and worse. So I would urge you to, this is something that, I think everyone in here would say, hey, keep with what we have now, because a small increase now is only gonna get worse. And I think that, I know you're only part of it, the school board bears, I think, the brunt of the responsibility for a lot of the decisions I think they've made have been poor, and you have no control over that. But I would say for your part, I would urge you to keep with what you have, keep the lowest rate, try to keep everyone's property here under their names and not kick them off. It's one of the things we have continuously stressed when we go to these meetings for any of the big changes they're making in this county. It's gonna drive up taxes, it's gonna push people off their land's gonna get bought up and developed more and more and more, and it's only gonna get worse. So I'd urge you to do what you can to at least try to keep it down for the folks now.
Thank you.
My name is Vita Lanning. I'm at 425 Plainview Drive, Dawson, Georgia. I have a question, and I may have missed this, I was a few minutes late, but do you have a slide or a table that says what the millage rate is, what the assessed values were, and the total amount of tax collected?
Yes.
So that we can see that for the past several years and how much we went up?
Yes. Well, for the county, you haven't gone up, but yes, you can see the total and the
Well,
millage rate and the assessments.
The
included.
millage rate may have not went up, but the assessed values did. So I'm looking at the total dollars collected.
Right.
How has that increased?
So from 2016, it was 24 million, and it's been going down pretty steadily, not 100% even, but more or less even, about 18% less as of last year to 9.8. So that's
I'm not asking that. I'm asking dollar amounts. Is that
those are
in the
dollars.
million amount? Okay.
That's in millions, sorry, yes, that's 24 million versus 19.8
So that's
million
what was collected and it's went down.
collected. So
Why is
that
it-
includes the assessments. That's a great question. Of course, we added the senior exemption. It got increased Tuesday night, which we all
Yes.
supported, but it didn't exist back in 2016 or 2019 for that matter.
Okay.
And so that was roughly $2 million that we do not collect from seniors any longer.
Okay. What about-
The other difference is because, like you said, assessments went up, but we rolled the millage rate back further than the increase in the assessments.
So let me ask this new data center that's being built, how much taxes are we gonna get off of them, or are they getting one of those tax exempt things for some years?
They will be paying taxes on day one. And so they haven't put all of the computers in there yet, so that's where most of the money is. We know what the building is gonna be worth, but it won't be till 2027, so it's not
But do
now.
they get the same millage rate or whatever we are, or are all these new
They
businesses
do
getting?
get a discount,
rebates?
the initial year they get a discount, but they pay taxes as well. And then after so many years, it completely goes away and they pay 100% of their taxes, so they are
Right.
getting abatement, yeah.
Other than the big data center, how many other businesses do you know that we've increased in the past year?
Oh, in the past year, I think it's a little bit
2
more than a
years.
year. We added a company down at the Carbondale Park that makes chicken soup, Essential Protein, so that's new. Several hundred employees and, I think it was $100 million for that plant roughly, don't quote me on that, but somewhere around there.
Okay, so those.
They pay taxes, yeah.
Those dollar amounts are included in this?
They are.
Okay.
There's nothing left out. There's no
Except-
special taxes in here, special tax district, but the standard taxes that everybody pays, because Dalton doesn't pay those special tax districts, so I can't put that up there precisely, but that includes all the business taxes as well as personal taxes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
And this, forgot to mention, this is posted on the website, this presentation, so you can download it when you get home.
I
or
went
if
out there
you're not
looking
here.
and I couldn't find it.
Yeah, we just
So-
put it up today, so if you
Okay.
go back and check it, it'll be there for tonight or for the next.
Good afternoon again, gentlemen. How are y'all?
Good.
My name's Timothy Daniel. I live in Barnell. The rollback, millage rollback you claim with the, it is, the rollback with the increased appraisals is a wash. Am I correct?
I'm not sure which number you mean. You want me to put up that other slide or?
Yeah, because your little chart up there, no, you had a little diagram thing, not that one.
Which one did you make? This one?
No, not that one.
Healthcare, no taxes?
I've got another, okay, what, the millage rate, you say it's going down. It may go down, how does that help us if the appraisal value went up?
It only helps you if that rate is faster than your rate of increase. So obviously they would offset each other. If one went up 18 and this one went down 19, you have a small savings there.
Small savings.
If they don't, then you wouldn't. You're
I
right.
think it's an increase, no matter how you look at it, you can't spin those words. I've got a question about tax revenue here, which your little chart here. Do you know the system, the procedure when every business in the county or in the state and they submit their monthly tax to DOR? And how do you know we are getting what citizens actually paid? Or are we just getting an across the board equity amount?
That is probably one of my biggest pet peeves with the Department of Revenues, who you're talking about in
I
sales
think
tax.
the citizens need to know this answer.
They definitely do, but they won't give it to me or you, either one of us. That is proprietary information from the state.
Proprietary information.
I don't agree with that. I'm on your side 100%. They will not tell me any information about who paid what tax to Walmart or Home Depot. I assume that's what you mean, sales tax.
That's exactly
And
what I mean.
I have no information and they will not give,
And
it doesn't matter what
furthermore,
I sign.
you're gonna trust them people down in Atlanta to count our pennies when they stole the election?
I do not trust them to count it, no.
We have no control.
We have
Okay,
zero
one
control.
more
They-
thought here. Rather than beat around the bush here, I'd like your opinion, and your opinion on this, millage rate stuff.
We'll give that tonight. We'd rather not give it right now. We're still listening to you guys. We'll have another meeting.
Are we all wasting our breath?
No.
Are we trying to convince? We don't know where you stand, so that's why I'm trying to pull it out.
Okay, you'll know tonight at 6.
We won't be here tonight at 6. We're here now. This was advertised as a public hearing. It wasn't saying come this afternoon and then come back later tonight.
Yeah, it was advertised as a public hearing with we cannot take official action. So there's no action for us to take on the millage rate.
You
one way or
can't
the
give your opinion?
other.
He'll give that
That's
next
what the
meeting.
gentleman asked for.
We want to do below 5, so we'll see where that ends up tonight.
Okay, thank you.
But it'll be streamed tonight as well, so if you don't have to come back to the room. If you want to watch it on Facebook tonight, you can, or of course it'll be in the newspaper on Saturday, tomorrow. Other public comments?
Hello, I'm Michael Yeager. I'm a minister of the local church. I reside on Threadmill Road. I'm not coming up here to be critical by any means, just giving you a scenario to consider in your vote tonight. So, me and my family, we purchased our home in 2020, right before everything took off.
That's right.
We had no idea of what was going to happen during that time with everything that was going on with COVID. We did not buy our home as an investment. We were just trying to improve our family's life. Kids getting bigger, need more room, things like that. Since that time, so in those 5 years, our assessed value has gone up 100%. And in that time, my personal salary has gone up 6%. So you can understand where there's a huge gap in financial availability to pay taxes. And since the last meeting, last Friday, our family's been hit with a huge financial burden, which is going to require a lot of significant cutbacks. And I understand that every family has a budget, just like the county, the city has a budget. And when we're hit with financial issues, I believe it's our responsibility to make cutbacks, to meet those budgets, and not to continue to increase you have the ability to generate more income simply by increasing the rate. Whereas I cannot just say to my employer, which happens to be a church, I need more money to cover my expenses. We don't have that ability. And so a lot of the people here are 70 plus, don't pay a lot of the taxes. I'm bearing 100% of the burden of our taxes. So, you know, so we're cutting $3 here, $12 here, $16 here, to be able to meet this financial burden for our family. And I know you say that, well, it's only gonna be maybe an average of $80 a family. But when we're cutting $3, $4, $6 here and there, $80 makes a big difference. And, you know, it may seem minimal, but every dollar counts. So I just wanted to give you that scenario, a real life scenario of what's going on. And I know that I'm not just, our family's not just the only one. So please consider that when you vote time.
Right, yeah, appreciate that. And just as again, I can't go back and fix these past assessments, unfortunately, but because we don't do the assessments at all at the Board of Commissioners. But the only good news is that we have both the schools and of course the county's always been in that House Bill 581 that I mentioned. So your increased assessment can only go up 3%. Generally, it can only go up 3% unless there's some special inflation or something like that. So no more 20, 30, or 100% in your case increases. It'll only be 3%. In some years it may be 0, like this year it's 0, from 24 to 25 for those that were in that protection. So let's pray, and I believe it's going to be true because it's now state law that we don't have to have these big spikes. As long as you stay in your home, you won't have to worry about those. If you sell it, then that's a different story, but that's up to you.
Of course, everybody needs to know that that also takes into effect starting 2026. So
For schools, that's right, but not for us. It's already in effect for us, for the county. Yes, you're right.
Hi, my name's Deborah Donovan. I live on Bloomington Drive in Dalton. I was born and raised here. I moved away in 1970. I just came back in 2016, and I moved here from Florida specifically looking for lower prices, lower home prices, you know, lower taxes, things like that, because it's astronomical in Florida. And it was, I thought it was doing okay. I paid for my house, but I live on one Social Security. My husband passed away, so I live on the Social Security. And as you know, it goes up a couple percent, you know, whatever. But I've had a lot of medical issues, and I've just been watching this really closely because it's going to affect me quite a bit. But I think because we had the vote the other day, I think most of my questions have been answered as much as they can be.
Yeah.
But
More protection
for
going
anybody,
forward, for
yeah,
sure.
for anybody else, I understand what they're going through, and I understand the salaries and the healthcare costs, but we have ours too. I've got tremendous medical bills, but I pay for it, Medicare and all that. But I just wanted to say that I came back here because I wanted to come back here because I wanted to be in this community, and I just wanted to watch it as we go. And I have a lot of other things to say, but they're not really concerning the village, so I'll leave it to somebody else.
Any other public comments? If not, of course, like I said, we'll be back at 6. There is space downstairs, so I'm sure it'll be more crowded at 6 p.m. For the people that couldn't get off at lunch. And we'll also have, that's on the first floor, but if you also want to go to the courthouse, we'll have room over there. But if you're on the ground floor here, of course, you can come up and ask us questions and then go back down there and listen to the rest of it, the screens and the video. But we will be taking action tonight, so look forward to seeing you back here at 6 p.m. Motion to adjourn?
Motion.